But the second source or revenue stream for schools, which is largely the tax levy. And in 2012, then Governor Cuomo started requiring school districts, based on a formula that the state established, to calculate and report an allowable tax levy. So it was referred to as a 2% tax cap. That's not really an accurate statement. There's one factor within the formula that cannot go higher than 2%, but the entire calculation itself is an allowable tax levy, and it can be over 2%. The implications are, whenever you are at a levy, an allowable levy calculation, that whenever you try to apply a levy that is greater than the allowable levy calculated, then a supermajority is needed for the vote from the voters. Anything up to the allowable levy calculation can be passed with a simple majority. So there's the terms allowable levy and the actual levy. So school districts can have an allowable levy that's up here and propose an actual levy that is below that. If they do that, then that can move forward simply with a 50% voter approval. If the allowable levy calculation is here and the district wants to pursue greater amount of taxes, then a supermajority is needed where 60% of the vote would have to be in favor of that. I can tell you that since this started in 2012, the Avon Central School District has never pursued a levy that is above the allowable calculation. In fact, out of the 13 years, we've been below the allowable levy calculation about 6 times. So I want to take you into our levy history a little bit, but first, just a quick overview of what the levy actually is. The levy itself is really just a total amount of money that's collected and then divided amongst the properties and the property owners. So the levy itself, when we refer to the levy going up, it's in reference to that total amount of money. So if there is hypothetically $100 worth of levy and the allowable levy and the district pursued a 2% raise, then that total amount of money collected through taxes can only go to a $102 amount. So you can see from this example, this is a fictional example. There's this pizza pie on the left-hand side with a levy of about 2.5%. That means the total pizza pie can only get about 2.5% bigger. And you can't detect it here, but the pie on the right is actually 2.5% bigger. But it's in reference to all of the total monies that are collected through taxes. Diving into the more specific history of Avon, again, we have the allowable levy. So that's a calculation that we have to calculate each year from a formula and report it to New York State. And then there's the actual levy. So what we would be allowed to go out and get with a 50% majority, and what the district has actually pursued. So you can see, going back through the years, 2019-20, the district went out at the calculated levy limit. 2020-21, we were below the levy limit. 21-22 at the levy limit. 22-23, about half of the allowable levy limit. 23-24, significantly below the allowable levy limit. This is, so coming into this year, remember, is the first year that New York State fully funded Avon. So when New York State fully funded, the district could consider some additional tax benefits to the community. What we're proposing next year is the allowable levy limit calculation is 4.21%. And instead, to balance the budget for next year, we're recommending an actual levy of 3.39%. So again, below the allowable levy limit.